everybody, what's going on? Welcome to a brand new episode of United in Strength. Mike Alexander here, certified personal trainer, Hardgainer expert, and future nutritional coach. I'm still studying for that. Before we begin, please subscribe to this channel if you enjoy my content, and please give this button a thumbs up. Help me get into those algorithms. Help me spread the word of my channel and everything I have to offer. I think I know you. You were that skinny kid who couldn't fill out like the other kids around you. Your siblings, while not having the slightest clue about how the body works, shame you for not looking like everybody else. Your arms are long. You're pencil-necked. Your chest is nothing more than a shell caging an anxious heart. Worst of all, you're weak. So you hit the gym for no other reason except you no longer are willing to be a pushover. Well, it's not as easy as it looks, is it? Everyone around you is making progress while you're toiling away on every machine, every station, relying on every 8 to 12 week cookie cutter program you could find, and even wasting your money on supplements that do nothing for you. At some point, you've probably heard the term Hardgainer and wonder if that's exactly what you are, and perhaps what you're destined to always be. There have been articles written on the topic, and with the release of one book, one man even made a career based on helping Hardgainers. By definition, a Hardgainer is essentially someone who just simply finds it hard to put on any kind of muscle, right? Was that all there is to it? What really determines whether or not a person is a Hardgainer? And can this be worked around? The short answer, of course it can be worked around. But first off, let's tackle that decades-old somatotype that's often used to characterize the Hardgainer, the ectomorph. The ectomorph. Here are a few physical traits of an ectomorph. A thin frame, narrow hips, face, shoulders, and a shallow chest. Long arms and legs, that which go hand in hand with the long muscle bellies. And that alone, thanks to stereotyping, goes hand in hand with the alleged emotional aspects of an ectomorph. Things such as social awkwardness, self-consciousness, and artistic tendencies, apparently, to name a few. All these seem to make sense, especially as I look at myself and my own personality. But therein lies one major red flag. The creator of somatotypes, William Sheldon, PhD, wasn't a doctor who specialized in orthopedics, as most doctors who work with athletes are. He was a psychologist, and you better believe that there is a problem there. Psychologists of Sheldon's era were the same people who used propaganda under the guise of public relations to feed us the beliefs that smoking cigarettes would make women thin and that our wardrobe choices are what define us, our outermost personalities, things like the music we listen to. Feel like a sheep yet? All this is just a psychological ploy. The skinny kid walks in the halls in his school, gets laughed at and shamed by the other far more developed looking kids, and becomes self-conscious. See a pattern yet? And how do I know this? Because I, too, fell for this. And to think, all it took for me was to learn how to work around my not-so-fantastic genetics and realize that I had asthma. And before I knew it, I was pulling off physical feats I once thought to be impossible thanks to a lifetime of psychological and emotional conditioning. So there are, without question, two components of utmost importance that must be understood in order for you to not just defy good genetics, but meaningless, yet potentially harmful psychological stereotypes. Training. Maybe you've heard it before. I know I've stressed the point a lot since September of 2018, but here are a few pointers that'll help you realize your own physical potential. You must utilize full body workouts 2 to 3 days a week, and maybe even less if your schedule does not allow for optimal recovery time. And again, I have said it before, but full body training and especially utilizing compound movements uses more than just one muscle group, trains more than one muscle group. It indirectly trains all the little muscle groups around it. They hit all the large muscle groups. And it's far more beneficial than even isolation movements, although they can be used too. Each training day must include the basic compound movements, as I just said. Understand that range of motion will not always be your friend depending on your goals, and you will possibly have to make tweaks in your own training. For instance, if you bench press, do not lock out with every single rep. You will lose the tension in the movement, and I wouldn't even worry about locking out unless you're finishing up to rack the bar. Nutrition. You should be in a caloric surplus while sticking, of course, to healthy options as much as possible. All the time. Increased macronutrient intake. The daily recommended protein intake for a sedentary person, for example, is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Yours should be anywhere from a gram to a gram and a half per pound of body weight. Likewise, if your carbohydrate intake should be anywhere from 2 to 4 grams per pound of body weight, which is crucial for both glycogen storage, both before and especially after your training is complete. And of course, sodium. Of its many benefits for training, the most important as it relates to this article is that it boosts intracellular water retention, just like creatine, but minus the extra benefits I don't have the time to mention here. I myself have stuck with these over the years, going from being told before a show I played with my band that my drumsticks were essentially an extension of my arms. He actually said that to me. To using those arms to not just deadlift more than double my body weight as of last year, but I also packed on size like I only imagined in my wildest dreams. In that show I just mentioned, I was about at least 140 pounds if I was lucky. There's a picture of me I posted on my Instagram where I took it in March, right before the pandemic forced all the gyms in the country to close. I was 185 pounds, a 45-pound difference between 2002 and 2020. 18 years there. So it can be done, but all it takes is consistency, intelligence, and most of all, patience. You also have to pay close attention to how often you eat and how you eat. If I could add muscle to a thin frame and offer a handshake that makes most people weary of ever extending their hands to me ever again, oh, I've got stories about that, you can as well. So is being a Hardgainer a death sentence? Nah. I'd call it a societal state of mind, and one that can and must be reversed. Don't be afraid to think for yourself. Thank you for watching this video. Once again, hit that like button if you enjoyed this, and I really hope you have. If you live in the New Jersey area, I'm having my first outdoor fitness boot camp next Wednesday at Kingsland Park in Clifton, New Jersey. Please click the link in this description to let me know if you're interested in coming. I will hope to see you there.